Winner of the 2024 Texas Regional Radio Music Awards Internet Radio Station of the Year.
Uvalde Radio.
It's UvaldeRadio.net. Good evening. It's Robert Miguel checking in live from Broadway 830 at 100 East Main Street in downtown Uvalde. We do this every Friday night. We call it Friday Night Live because, hey, it's Friday. And it's live. There you go. And we are here getting ready for some live Texas music. Now, we usually call this the Rising Stars of Texas Music, but tonight we got kind of a special treat. Not only rising, but kind of been there, done that, and come back for another round or a lap or two. So please welcome, straight from Las Palmas in Alice, Texas, the South Texas Merle Haggard. It's Kelly Kenning.
Thank you, Robert. Man,
I was told that's your big intro.
Man, you must have talked to somebody from Pauline Reese's band.
That note was given to me by the one and only living legend, Chance Nutzi, who apparently...
Well, Chance used to work for Pauline. That's what I was going to say. There's only a couple of people I ever heard that from. That's kind of funny, man.
Yeah. So that's a little inside information that I got prior to this interview. So
how's
Chance Nutzi
doing?
He's great. He's a big shot here in Uvalde. Works at the First State Bank in
Chance,
Uvalde.
what's happening, brother?
He will be here later tonight to catch your show.
I love to see Chance, man. He's a great guy.
Yeah, he's actually... he was a star quarterback here in our hometown in Uvalde years ago. And like I said, now he's like basically like a VP at the big bank in town. And he actually has done some of the sports announcing right here on UvaldeRadio.net. We carry the Uvalde High School football varsity football games Friday nights in the fall.
How awesome is that?
Chance has been a commentator and announcer on our airwaves, so there you go.
You know what, man? Every time you see Chance, he's in a good mood. Every time I ever saw him, just a super great guy. Even back before he, become a big VP banker and stuff. Apparently, that's awesome.
I got to ask this, as someone who's known him from the old days, has he always been that sharp of a dresser? Dresses to a T.
Man, I'm gonna tell you what. Every time I was ever around him, he was dressed to the nines, man.
Wow, that's awesome.
I mean, he was ready to. He was ready to go see the ladies.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey. What's wrong with that?
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Great. I told the story before. It's hot in Uvalde, and one time I was just walking downtown, middle of summer. It was like 100-something degrees. We're just walking pavement, downtown, just blaring heat, no shade. And out the door comes Chance Nutzi. Just so many layers. So many layers. I mean, you were talking like, pants and shirt and vest and sports coat. And, I mean, looking sharp. The guy I don't think he glistened. He wasn't sweating at all. Just looking 110%. And I'm just this big blubber monster of a man just huffing and a puffing and a greasy sweating.
Yeah.
I'm just like, man, that's a high-quality man right there.
Man, we had a lot of fun back in the old days when we were running around with the Pauline Reese band. As a matter of fact, here in Concan, she threw a big thing out there. It was me and her and Jason Boland and who else was out there that night? I think Todd Fritsch was playing there. Wow. I don't know if you remember who Todd Fritsch is.
I know the others though, but that's cool.
And that was a party.
You got a good time
out there. That little cabin out in the back of the Harper Ray's place over there.
Goodness, yes.
That turned into a. Yeah, I've
heard in the old days there was some debauchery. It's such more of a family kind of a big deal now at House Pastor. So anyway, I don't want to make anybody sound bad, but
man, that was probably 16 years ago,
wow,
17. It's been a long time.
And that whole House Pastor thing has grown so much that we have so many legendary. Tonight, Aaron Watson's performing.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow night, Randy Rogers. So, they're doing good things over there. Again, we got Kelly Kenning, and we're going to talk about you, not everybody else.
That's all good, man.
Kelly Kenning in from Alice. So, first of all, Kelly, how was the trip in from A-Town?
Man, it was pretty awesome. My little brother rode up here with me, Gavin, and he's a really good guitar player, and I didn't change the ball on my pickup. I've got two different trailers I pull around, and I didn't change the ball, and like to lost a trailer coming over here.
Whoa, no way!
That thing jumped off that 2-inch ball. It's 2 5/16, and it's going to have a little welding on it.
My lordy. Well, okay. Well, that was a more interesting trip than you let off to begin with.
But yeah, it's going to probably cost me a couple $100 to fix that. But it's hey, we made it here in one piece.
And then you didn't lose any equipment or anything.
We didn't lose any equipment, and we both lived.
Right.
I was over there. I'm telling you, I was like, thank you, Jesus. Thank you for getting me through that, because I looked over at my brother and I said, hold on, man. I said, I was thinking something bad fixing to happen.
Right, right.
Hey,
wow.
I'm so thankful that we made it here safe, and the trailer made it here safe. If it only cost me a bent jack, then we're doing okay.
People just don't know the struggles of life on the road, man. Even if you're not doing it like 100% full time, just taking a trip from Simple Alice to Uvalde. I mean, there's risks. You know what I mean? It's a risky business. This lifestyle.
Folks, never forget to check your ball hitch.
That's right.
That's one thing that I learned on this trip. Never forget to check your ball hitch, and make sure you have the right size on there so you don't lose your trailer.
That if there's anything you want to take away from this interview segment, that's it right there. All right, guys, check that ball hitch. Hey, let's go ahead and get your new song on. You're pushing the new single called Whiskey Fingers. It's a fun song.
Thank you,
I love the way it sounds on the radio. I'm going to go and play this now so our audience knows who we're talking to, in case they're not sure.
Yeah.
So y'all check this out. This is Kelly Kenning performing live tonight at Broadway 830. As always, no coverage. It's a free live show outside on the patio. They've got delicious artisan pizza, really cold beer, drink specials, including $4 pints from now till 10 p.m. Whiskey Fingers, Kelly Kenning. This is Friday Night Live on UvaldeRadio.net.
You know that old saying, don't talk to me, talk to the hand. Brought on a whole new meaning last night in social media land. My 10 buddies got rowdy with every shot I took. Got on my Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and then Facebook. When my whiskey fingers did the talking late last night, they told the world just how I felt when I was drunk out of my mind. Hey, bottle of Crown going down, told them what to text and type. When my whiskey fingers did the talking late last night. Well, you never know just what they're going to say. They've got a mouth of their own, but I'm the one that has to pay. Most of the time they just spell trouble for me, but it's only when I'm DRINKING. When my whiskey fingers did the talking late last night, they told the world just how I felt when I was drunk out of my mind. A bottle of Crown going down, told them what to text and type. When my whiskey fingers did the talking late last night. Well, I woke up this morning to their stories, posts, and memes. Then I put those digits into reverse and hit delete, 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 delete. 'Cause my whiskey fingers did the talking late last night. They told the world just how I felt when I was drunk out of my mind. Hey, bottle of Crown going down, told them what to text and type. When my whiskey fingers did the talking late last night. Yeah, my whiskey fingers do the talking late at night.
UvaldeRadio.net. This is Friday Night Live coming at you from Broadway 830 downtown Uvalde. Come on out for a great live performance by Kelly Kenning from Alice, Texas, right here from 7 to 10 p.m. Again, like I said, delicious food and some great drink specials, including $4 pints till 10 p.m. tonight. The new single called Whiskey Fingers. Again, Kelly Kenning is here with us right now. Kelly, welcome.
Hey, buddy.
All right,
good to see you, Robert.
That song is so cool, man. It's a lot of fun.
Thank
fun
you.
Song.
Thank you.
Let's go and talk about the background of the song. Did you write it? Is it a co-write? Did you just totally steal it from somebody else?
Man, back during the lockdown, the COVID lockdown, well, I didn't have anything better to do but drink. So I was sitting out on my back porch, and I'd heard somebody talking about how he had whiskey fingers, and I just laughed, and I said, man, I'm not going to write that.
I never heard that term, and it's hilarious, and it's true.
And I was sitting out on my back porch, and it was probably 3 o'clock in the morning, and my wife, I was back there making a little noise on the back porch, and she come out there and said, what the blank are you doing? I said, well, I'm writing a song. She said, well, it looks like you're sitting there getting drunk to me. I told her, so what's
the way to do it?
So what's the difference, Felt like Andrew Dice Clay. What's the difference?
Nice. Hickory dickory dock.
Yeah. Anyway, I told her. Anyway, I wrote several songs during that couple of weeks, and that was one of them. I wrote it by myself.
Now tell me this, because you admit you've been doing this a while.
Oh yeah.
And I always find it interesting because when I think of country music, whether it's Texas country or Nashville, whatever, I always feel like at its soul, at its core, it's old school. It's kind of rustic. But we have all these songs now because of technology. We all have them. We all got cell phones. We're all texting. We're all on Twitter or whatever the thing is. And again, for somebody who's been writing songs for a while like yourself, what's that like writing a song with such modern influences and references as texting and, you know what I mean, doing silly things on social media? That's something that literally 20 years ago...
Well, it was unheard of.
It didn't even exist, really. I mean, it did, but, you know what I mean, it wasn't something you probably would have been writing about.
Of course not,
yeah. Does that kind of just tickle your fancy when you think about the fact that we've come so far or just changed so much as a society as far as songwriting goes?
Well, I just think that like last night I wrote this song about something that happened in the 1800s, I was writing a song about an old miner's town. Now, I hope nobody ever asked me to come play that song because I as a songwriter, I just put it on a work tape, and I probably won't ever pull that song out again in case unless there's a project specifically for that. But it was fun. I write, I'm a little songwriting group with some friends that are involved in it. Some other, I probably don't want to say their names, but there's some other people in Texas that we're in like a little songwriting group, and they put out a little prompt word, and you have to write a song and turn it in every 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's good exercise.
Keeps you fresh. It's a songwriting exercise, and it's really expanded my mind a lot. I was very fortunate enough to get the CMA of Texas Songwriter of the Year award in 2020.
Wow, that's awesome.
Don Rollins, the guy that wrote 5 O'Clock Somewhere, had gotten it in 2019. And they gave it to me in 2020.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's good company.
And my friend Dennis Quaid got it in 2021.
Wow.
So I felt like I was in...
Dennis Quaid, the actor. Because a lot of people don't know he's a musician. Man, pretty darn good one, too.
He is a super, super great guy.
Yeah.
And I mean, just down to earth. I mean, it was just a little surreal getting to really visit with Dennis. And him and my friend Johnny Rodriguez and Tony Ramey and I sat in a hotel room till about 6:30 in the morning drinking tequila one night after Dennis won his Songwriter of the Year award, and that was a little surreal to me, to listen to some of the songs that he's written. He was working on a gospel album also, so. The songwriting part of it just evolves, I think.
Yeah.
I've been very fortunate. I lived in Nashville for 10 years. I moved out there. Some friends of mine talked me into moving out there in 95. I was there just shy of 10 years. And I played a little place called Tootsie's Orchid Lounge out there in it's on Broadway. You know, I played down there 4 or 5 nights a week, 5 hours a night, and you know, they won't let you have a break. Back in those days, they wouldn't let you have a break.
Right,
you know?
right, yeah.
You wanted to take a break, you had to let somebody from the audience come up there and sing for
Right.
you, you know?
Yeah, you had to do all your whiskey drinking and all your cigarette smoking right up there. And
Well, but you know, man, a lot of people would sit there and like smoke cigars and like blow it up kind of like towards the stage, and I don't do well with cigar smoke for some reason, you know?
yeah, it's, it's a little heavy. Yeah,
I mean,
for
if,
sure.
if they'd been blowing weed up there or something, you know, it might have been a little different, you know. But
a little contact.
I don't know. It wasn't what they did have a bunch of smoke eaters in there. You know, sitting up in the ceiling, they'd have these things turning, and it was smoke eaters, you know. But you know, I'm telling you, that downtown Nashville has really changed a lot since I was there.
Yeah.
Last time I was down there. Those bars have 4 levels now.
Wow.
And you know, they'd pay the band $150 to $200 just for the band.
Yeah.
And then you pass around this big mayonnaise jar and collect tips in it so everybody could get paid. You know.
Wow.
So it was a lot of fun. You know, I really got to meet most all my heroes, all my songwriting heroes out there, and I really got to learn a lot about structuring songs, and I got to meet all my musician heroes in the studio and all that. And I've just been very fortunate and blessed to have gone through that time in my life to really meet a lot of those people.
I mean, really, that's what it is. I mean, if you want to be the best, if you hang out with the best, you know, or the leaders in any trade, that's how you do it. You know, just sharpening that steel that way. That's fantastic. What was there a particular song or a record that I guess was the catalyst to you winning that 2020 award?
Well, you know, I have been very blessed to not. I don't know in particular.
Just over an overall catalog that they're honoring.
I mean, out of all the songwriters in Texas, I felt very, you know, I was like, wow. I was kind of blown away that you know the board chose me to get that.
We've got to talk about a song that you actually have that's pretty recent out now. But let me go ahead because I want to make sure people hear music. Again, we got Kelly Kenning here. He's performing tonight, 7 o'clock, here at Broadway, 830, 7 to 10 p.m. Free show. Coming out here and enjoy it on the patio and have some great food and some cold beers. Again, $4 pints tonight. But Kelly, let's go and rewind and do the song. It's about 20 years old right now, right? The Ride of My Life?
Yes.
So I want to make sure some people hear you've been doing this a while, so I think it's interesting to play some of the older school stuff. Y'all check this out. We're going to come back and talk about the old days and some newer stuff that you've been taking a part of too. So again, this is The Ride of My Life, Kelly Kenning, Friday Night Live on UvaldeRadio.net.
This stubborn pickup truck still hasn't let me down. It still gets me from town to town to town, over miles that I've crossed, over loves that I've lost, beating time. Well, I can fall as good as any cowboy can, but I'm hard to buck once that rigging's in my hand. When they're pulling the gate, I'll be counting to 8 in my mind. I have the ride of my life somewhere over that horizon in that Southwest Texas sky. Yeah, the ride of my life could be there waiting in Del Rio tonight. A time or two I've almost given up, but I I held on through the bruises and bad luck. Guess I'll finally settle down when I can't get up off that hard, dusty ground anymore. I had the ride of my life somewhere over that horizon in that southwest Texas sky. Yeah, the ride of my life could be there waiting in Del Rio tonight. I am the ride of my life somewhere over that horizon in that southwest Texas sky. Yeah, the ride of my life could be there waiting in Del Rio tonight. This stubborn pickup truck still hasn't let me down. It still gets me from town to town to town.
UValdeRadio.net, Friday Night Live. That's Kelly Kenning out of Alice, Texas. The Ride of My Life, and that song's about 20 years old. And give me the story. That one did pretty well for you, right?
Man, it was a top 5 back in those days. Yeah, my friend Tony Ramey wrote that song for me back then. He said, Kelly, he said, man, we wrote this song for you. I want you to record it. And he said, I said, I'm going to come over and rough you up, man. And I said, hey, man, that's a great song. I love it, Tony. Thank you for,
20 years old still sounds great, I mean, I'm sure you've got quite the catalog. Let's talk about how many, because I'm sure you've been around a while, so we can talk in terms of records, albums, singles, whatever. But if somebody is hearing about you right now for the very first time, they look up Kelly Kenning, whether it's on Spotify, Apple Music, or just go to the website, what kind of products, how many albums, what are they going to find out there?
Well, I've been releasing a lot of stuff because a lot of this stuff like predates Spotify and iTunes and all that. So I released my very first album that we did in 1992. That's called, it was an Introducing Kelly Kenning record.
Cool.
And I got to release that last year just for, I didn't go to radio with it or anything,
right.
Robert. It's just so people could hear it. What you sounded like 5 years ago.
It's fantastic, man. It's cool.
Whatever it is. And
so obviously it's going to have that kind of a 90s country vibe because it's essentially 90s country, right?
Right. Well, it was. And it's, then there's another album that I have unreleased also. And it's kind of in between that and the Ride of My Life album. And I'm going to release that one also. But it's got 17 songs on it. It's all the stuff that I did when I was living in Nashville that I never did get to release. And I wrote with a lot of my songwriting friends. Some of those aren't my songs, but there's a lot of them that are on that particular album.
So now, did you start out as a songwriter, or did you start out as someone that just wanted to perform music and take other people's songs, or was it just a mix of both? Or
the first time I ever sang on stage was in New Mexico, at the Inn of the Mountain Gods. My dad was a executive vice president of Whataburger in charge of operations.
Cool job. I want that job.
And we went out there, and I was, this was 1981. And I went out there, and there was a fellow up there playing piano, and I wanted to get up there and sing because I always heard my mom going around the house singing. And I used to sing to the top of my lungs in the back of the old car back in the old days.
Yeah.
And man, I got to sing in front of that crowd, and I got a standing ovation.
Oh, awesome.
Inside this little bar at the end of the Mountain Gods.
Now, but how old were you here at this point?
I was 11.
Wow, that's
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, 1981.
So that's the bug. That's the bite.
Yeah,
right.
and you know, I had a friend of mine that has a meat packing plant, Bollner's meat packing plant there in San Antonio. Richard, the guy, Whataburger got all their meat from Bollner's Meat Company back in those days. And they have the Fiesta spices also, you know. Okay. But anyway, he said, I got an old guitar, man. You want to learn how to, you want to learn on it. So I started taking lessons from Denny Mathis over there in San Antonio at the Don Pack's Delview Music Center. Almost. And Denny was a steel guitar player for Bubba Littrell. And, you know, he taught Bobby Flores, too.
Wow.
You know, I got talking to Bobby one day, you know, before he passed.
Man, I know, right? And that's pretty recent, so God rest his soul, man. We love him.
He's such a great guy, man. Yeah. I sure miss him. But, you know, we moved back down to Alice because we're in the restaurant business down there. We have a little company called Dairy Burger in Alice. And I've been in the hamburger business most of my life.
Nice,
so,
all right.
You know, when I'm not out singing and all that, I'm, you know, over there messing with the restaurants business. You know, I really enjoy it. It's been a blessing to us. But, man, you know, started playing in a band down there, Jerry and the Roughnecks, back in those days. And it just, there was a fella down there that I met. As soon as I moved back down there, I'd been playing guitar a couple of years, and a guy in my class in Alice said that he had a brother-in-law that wrote songs. Well, he was more like a lyricist and whatnot. He didn't really know how to play guitar, so, you know, I started getting together with him writing songs in like 84. And so I spent probably 5-6 years learning. You know, we'd go in there and spend, I don't know, ain't no telling how much money we spent in the studio back then.
Gotcha.
It was back when it was super expensive,
sure, absolutely.
You know.
Yeah.
But, you know, I've got some recordings from way back when. And, you know, the first time I went to Nashville was in 92 when we cut that album I was just talking about. So, you know, there's another album. There's at least 15 songs, 16 that I recorded pre all of that. Those are gonna stay at, you know, in the home because those recordings aren't really good enough to go over the air or anything. You know, we lost that was back in the old 2-inch tape recording days. Mm-hmm. You know, I got to see it change a lot from, you know, it went from 2-inch tape to ADAT tape to. I mean, the recording process just changed so much over the years. Just
digital, and it's crazy. You know, and I think a lot of people, maybe not a lot, but some people that have been in the business for a while might complain about the changes in the industry. Obviously, the fact that we can record at a much cheaper, you know, cost is phenomenal. But I think it's pretty remarkable that someone like yourself who recorded a lot of this stuff back in the AAD days, you know, can almost, with the streaming, can now give your music a whole new life. Once you convert it and put it up there, you know, and now it's got a digital life and new legs, right?
Yeah, you know, if you, the problem with those 2-inch tapes was they lost a lot of. If you don't, you have to bake those tapes, and you only get one shot at it. And I didn't get to do that with my masters, so they lost a lot of bottom end.
Okay.
So you know to go back in and I mean, if you could go back in and take the masters from back then and like remix them, I mean, that would be something like really cool to.
Again, we're looking at money
happen. Yeah. I mean, but that's just wishful thinking, you know. Right. I mean, for me anyway. But those were, I'm telling you, those days. You know, my friend Happy Shahan used to run Alamo Village. Told me way back in the old days. He said, Kelly, he said, man, he said, the older you get, he said, the tapes that you're doing right now, he said, you're not even going to listen to them anymore. He said, man. Said your voice is going to change a lot, and it has. You know,
gotcha.
I mean, your voice changes over the years, and I mean, you can go back and listen to to some of that stuff I was doing 35 years ago, and you can hear the the depth changes in your voice.
Well, you're a
and
different
whatnot.
voice. You're a different man. I mean, we're
Absolutely.
completely different human beings. Yeah, after that.
Absolutely. Well, there's a couple of women did that to me,
Amen. I'm sure there's a song or two about that.
I'm telling you, man, they change your world, man.
Kelly, I've got to mention this. I can't forget this, but I was having a conversation just less than 2 weeks ago. We had the one and only legendary John Wolf here in town in Uvalde County, and he was bragging about his current song that's out to streaming.
Yes.
Mentioned you as a songwriter on that. Tell us about the cut that John Wolf recorded from you.
Man, we wrote that in 2004. You know, Tony Ramey and I and another friend of ours was there with us that day. And we just got together. I mean, Tony Ramey was a driving force behind that song.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he is just a super great writer. And that song was born at Las Palmas Ranch there in Alice, and I put it on my album in 2010. I really had some high hopes for it, but you know, things didn't go as I planned them to go. And being able to put that song out to radio and whatnot, I didn't get the chance to do that. And I'm so thankful that John recorded that song.
Yeah.
I think he did a tremendous job on it. I think he's a super great singer. And I mean, he is. I'm just thrilled that he cut that song.
I mean, and again, like we're talking about, I mean, older song, your baby, but now they've got fresh legs, new wings. You know what I mean? Just kind of a whole new audience to listen to it. Yeah, a little bit different take than what you originally put out there, but still your song. I mean, very cool. Yeah. And John's got a big audience, good platform.
He does.
You know, yeah. So that's fantastic.
Super cool guy, man, and.
And remind me, it's called What a Cowboy Is?
What a Cowboy Was.
What a Cowboy Was, that's right.
It's kind of
great song.
You know that. Thank you, Robert. Man, you know, we were just talking about the way it was in the Old West.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I mean, it's just getting hard to be what a cowboy was back in those days. I mean, it's kind of what it's getting at. It's but I think it says what it should say.
Yeah, it's a great traditional kind of old school country song, man.
Yeah,
I love it. And if you're out there listening, if I haven't heard it yet, y'all look up John Wolf's new song to streaming, written by Kelly Kenning, who's sitting right here at the table with me. So very cool. All right, so I don't want to. We're running a little bit late. I do want to make sure I get some music on. Give me your choice: Broken Bones or Nothing But Smoke. What are we going to play?
Man, play him Nothing But Smoke.
Nothing But Smoke. All right. This instant request by the man himself. This is Kelly Kenning, Nothing But Smoke. We're going to come back and try to wrap things up. But again, we're doing Friday Night Live. Kelly Kenning performing tonight, 7 o'clock, right here in the patio. Come out and join us. We are UvaldeRadio.net.
Smoke-filled room, empty glass, familiar voice from out of the past says, boy, you know you sure haven't changed. When she sat down, we talked a while, then an old love song made her smile. So I asked her to dance, and she said, well, okay. And we went round and round, dancing and laughing, round and round, stirring the ashes like two lost fools, searching for fire in the rain. Nothing but smoke between me and my old flame. Can't blame me, can't blame her. It's nobody's fault. We're not who we were. I guess old friends is what we were meant to be. So let love lie when it dies. Well, that's what they say, and maybe they're right. But for one slow it was still just her and me. Between me and my old flame. No, there was nothing but smoke between me and my old flame.
CValleyRadio.net. This is Friday Night Live. Kelly Kenning, Nothing But Smoke. And Kelly's performing tonight out of Alice, Texas. Been doing this for a while. It's cool to hear some cool stories of just not only the people you played with or been on the road and co-written with. A lot of cool stuff. We got just a text from, we were talking about Chance Nutzi earlier. Talking about the changes of your voice. He said your voice now probably has little to do with him being on the road with Will Knack, who used to play for Wolf and now plays with Parker McCullum, I guess. So, anyway, I guess
cool.
Partying, is that what that is?
Oh, well, there's been a lot of partying going on. Yeah, Will used to play in Pauline's band back in those days. Yeah, Will's come a long, long way.
Cool.
I hadn't seen him probably since those days.
Wow.
You know, I think he played for Wade Bowen also.
Right, yeah. Yeah, these guys get around. You know, if they're good, then the bigger fish, will snatch you back up. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he plays guitar and sings a little bit, and Will's done real well for him. So I haven't seen him since back in those days.
Now let's get back to you, Kelly Kenning, here live at Broadway 830. Haven't really spent a lot of time talking about what you're doing currently. So do you have a functioning band? Do you do kind of you and a solo or a duo thing? When you're Kelly Kenning's not playing like kind of a solo thing out here at Broadway through, do you have a full band that you bring out, or?
I do have a full band.
Okay.
We play whenever we get the gigs.
All right, cool.
I mean, when somebody wants the full band, we put it together.
They're willing to pay for it. You do it.
That's right. Yeah, we've got a lot of the guys that played in Johnny Rodriguez's band are in the band. Johnny's been a great friend of mine over the years, and he's retired. And some of the guys from his band are in it, and
tell Johnny he needs to come out of retirement and do another show or two here in Uvalde County. So Johnny's from Sabinal, right down the road.
Of course, yeah.
And I had the honor of seeing. I tell you what, I grew up with Johnny Rodriguez. My dad loves Johnny Rodriguez, and he had never seen him live. We were obviously from Uvalde, but a couple of years ago when Johnny was still, and maybe it was just a one-off, but he did a show at House Pasture, and took my dad to see him, and it was still obviously up there in the years, but man, it was still him, and he had his voice, and the band was hot. It was a great show.
Was that the one he was at 3 or 4 years ago?
Maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Maybe, yeah. I drove House Pasture in Concan.
I drove him up there.
Really? That's awesome.
I was there that night.
That's awesome.
Matter of fact, I think I opened the show for him that night. Yeah, I think so.
I don't know if I got there early enough for that, but it was a great time. So I think it's great that you're in that family of friends, man.
Well, thank you, man. Yeah, he's got a new book out. It's an autobiography of his life, and he mentioned me in it several times.
That's so awesome.
There's some stories in there about, me and him and Merle Haggard and a few other people. I mean, there's,
so many cool people, it's hard not to talk about other people. But, Kelly, I got to get back to you. So, the band, tell me, what are your plans? You got the song to radio.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, has this been your first song back to radio for a while?
It's in about 11 years.
Yeah, okay,
I kept recording during those years. There was a contractual deal to where I couldn't put songs out for a while.
Gotta hate that.
And that time period's over with, so I'm getting to put my music back out there. So it wasn't that I quit music. I was writing and recording all that time. I just wasn't able to put anything out.
Right.
So, I'm thankful to be having songs out again. I've got another one. As a matter of fact, Johnny and I have another one that's streaming right now. It was released on April the 20th. And
420, huh? Okay.
Yeah,
I know where you're going with that.
Well, the song's about getting borracho. I'm not going to say the last part of it. I don't want to get anybody in trouble on the radio, but for those of y'all that listen, to internet stuff, it's on there. It's called Borracho, blah blah.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say the other word because I don't want to get.
And that's on your account, or is it on?
Yeah. It's
very
under
good,
Kelly Kenning on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, wherever you get your music,
Well, Kelly, I'm excited for you, man. I think it's really cool. Like we're talking about off the air, I've been in this Texas country radio thing for about 7 years, so I'm pretty well versed on the good stuff. But every now and again, I get to meet someone like you who's been doing it since way before I got involved in this scene officially, and I get to learn so many cool new things. So thank you for kind of expanding my horizon and opening my eyes to the old ways. I just get a kick out of knowing that you've got charted Texas country hits that I didn't get to hear first person, but now I've got them in my library. We're gonna throw them in the radio, what we call recurrent or catalog, and I can just throw those on. They'll pop up in our rotation every now and again because
thank you.
Yeah, it's so cool to meet you, man. It's exciting stuff.
Well, likewise, my friend. I'm going to tell you, I just enjoy it. I love writing songs, singing, performing. I mean, if you can make a difference in somebody's day, that's just kind of where I've always been with it. Is you should be able to brighten somebody's day with your message.
Yeah.
Whether it's, you got a happy song, a sad song, drunk song, you got a sober song, a breakup song, it's always fun to be able to try to connect with folks like that, and through the gift of music like that. I'm just thankful to God that, I'm still able to write and perform after all the years and all the stuff that I have been through. Over the years of doing this stuff, I like to died one night over at the past pasture.
Wow.
If there hadn't been a nurse there at night, I probably might not be breathing today. But
my goodness, wow.
Yeah. So yeah.
Well, I'm glad you lived it long enough to come out here, and I've got to shake your hand and meet you and talk a little bit about your music. Kelly, and what you said about making people smile and just making people happy. That new song, Whiskey Fingers, that's one of those songs. And when it comes on here on UvaldeRadio.net, I just get a chuckle, I just get a grin, and I sing along. I say it on the air every morning. I'm like, dude, this song just makes me happy.
Thank you.
Yeah. So mission accomplished. I'm glad to see you're back into it, and I wish you the greatest success. Tell us where are the best ways to find you online, all that good stuff.
Ben, I have a website. It's kellykenningcountry.net.com. kellykenningcountry.com. Okay, I also have .net, kellykenning.net, but because somebody from China stole my kellykenning.com a few years ago.
Yeah.
So I can't use that anymore.
And then they jacks up the price, and it's gone.
What they put on there really kind of. Oh my gosh!
Okay. And
that's not me, y'all. KellyKenning.com is not me. Yeah,
so it's kellykenning.net.
KellyKenning.net and KellyKenningCountry.com.
KellyKenningCountry.com, all right. Of course, follow them on social media, Facebook, all those other places. Man, I guess we got to get you up on stage here in a minute. So Kelly Kenning performing tonight, 7 o'clock till 10. Is your brother going to help you out too?
Man, if we can get his guitar plugged in. We were so busy checking them other channels and all that, we didn't get to get him plugged in yet. But he's really coming along. He's going to be a great little songwriter. He writes a lot of comedy stuff.
Oh, really?
He's really.
Well, maybe the next time that we get you to come back to Uvalde, maybe the next time we'll have him on there and we can do get to know him a little bit better.
Awesome.
Next time around. For those, as we wrap it up here, for those who have never seen you live, what can we expect tonight here on stage at Broadway 830? What kind of show are you going to give us?
Man, I love to play what people want to hear. Sometimes I can sit out here and play a night of all original music, and sometimes, people want to hear older stuff, and sometimes we just do that. A lot of guys use song lists. I don't use song lists. Every time you see me play anywhere, it's going to be different than what you saw the night before or the night before. So, except a band show. A band show has a list.
Structure, absolutely.
Right. It's a little bit more of a structured deal, but.
Sure.
I just enjoy off the cuff. It's fun to interact with people, and that's what I enjoy the most is interacting with folks.
And not everybody can do that because, in order to be able to do it off the cuff, you gotta have to know a lot of songs. You have to have a huge catalog, so that just is an example of your knowledge base.
Yeah.
Apparently, so that's fantastic. So. No matter what you bring, I'm sure it's going to be a great time. So, Kelly, it's been really great talking to you. Again, KellyKenningCountry.com
yes,
or
sir.
KellyKenning.net.
Yes, sir.
Those are the ways. And be sure to follow him on Facebook. And for those of you who maybe tuned in late, as always, we'll put this entire interview up on a podcast form on our interview tab at UValleyRadio.net. All right, we're going to go ahead and play your Broken Bones song as we out. Okay?
Man, thank you, Robert. Man, it's been
exit music.
It's been such a pleasure to visit with you, man.
Yeah,
Thank you for having me in town, man.
Welcome to Uvalde. How long has it been since you've been actually in Uvalde?
Man, it has been 7, 8, 9 years.
Now, were you here, or have you played here?
Well,
have
you
have you ever played here?
I have played a nursing home or two here.
Really? Okay, awesome.
Back in the older days, I used to come and play around at nursing homes a little bit.
We need to bring that kind of thing back. I think people would.
Man, I'm going to tell you what, man. If you can brighten somebody's day that can't get around, I still my little brother does that quite often. He's kind of doing that right now.
Cool.
And
wow.
I told him, I said, it's a great way to, show your talent off and bring some joy to somebody's life that they might not have that long in their life left, but it's a great way to,
no, absolutely, I get it. That's awesome. I had no idea. So well, hopefully we'll get you back out here, and we won't schedule a nursing home, but we'd like to have you back. Bring a full band or something like that.
We'll have some fun, I promise, man.
All right. Well, again, Kelly Kenning, thank you for being out here tonight. The show starts here in just a few minutes, so y'all come out to Broadway 830, 100 East Main Street, downtown Uvalde. Great food, great drinks, and great service. So let's wrap this thing up. Kelly Kenning, Broken Bones. This is UvaldeRadio.net, wrapping up Friday Night Live. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
She sees him right up in Reno. He never thinks they'll meet again. And then one night in the short go, he sees her face up in the stands. They fall in love down in Lufkin, and then part ways in Fort Worth. He takes a bruising down in Houston from a bucking bronc and from missing her. And he wakes up every morning with a cowboy's aches and pains, and wonders if the hurting is fair trade for the fame. He used to think that falling was worse than hanging on, but he's finding out that broken hearts don't heal like broken bones. Tries to call from Amarillo. It rings and rings clear to San Antone. She lets her tears fall on her pillow, 'cause she knows she can't his aches and pains, and wonders if the hurting is fair trade for his fame. He used to think that falling was worse than hanging on, till he found out that broken hearts don't heal like broken bones. Yeah, he found out that broken hearts can't heal like broken bones. She sees him right up in Reno,